Hey everybody, welcome back to The Drop. You made it here again. We're so happy that you guys found us and you're here with us.
All right.
And we are so happy that Pastor John
back.
is back. He was out on his trip of a lifetime with Pastor Karen, with my mom. Tell us, I don't know, I know there's a lot of highlights, but tell us something about the trip that you loved.
Well, we went to Italy.
Yes.
And then we went down to Sicily, because it's where, Karen's mom is from, her parents, her dad, and her grandmother. And so, but it was incredible where you just rested, relaxed, ate some amazing food and things like that.
Great.
But some of the highlights for me would be like, we went to the prison in Rome, where the Apostle Paul and Peter were actual prisoners.
Man, that's amazing.
So we went all the way down to the basement where they were actually held.
Wow.
And we saw the places where they had the chains and everything and all that. So that's just standing there thinking like, man, the Apostle Paul was here, Peter was here.
That's crazy.
It's just kind of crazy, And so that was awesome.
That's huge.
And then we went to a place outside of the Roman walls, and we saw a place where they actually decapitated the Apostle Paul.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the actual area. And we actually saw the pillar, because it's a pillar of marble.
Oh,
okay. It's a pillar about 3 feet high, and they put your neck on it, and then they, then they bring it down.
Yeah, sure.
So that was like, whoa.
That's crazy.
That was pretty amazing. And just to think that, one of my heroes was right there.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and then we visit St. Peter's Basilica, which is where Peter was buried, and it's just this big ornamental church and everything. But it was awesome because you're standing there and you're going like, these guys gave their lives, man.
Yeah.
They paid the ultimate price for what they believed.
Yeah.
And so for me, it just kind of checked my heart and say, how am I doing? How am I doing?
Sure,
and I came to the conclusion, hey, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here and I'm doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was awesome. It was awesome.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and it was a good time of rest, good time of recharging the batteries. So, we're back ready, man. Ready.
Oh, that's good. Well, we definitely missed you.
Yeah.
We're happy that you are back and just ready to keep doing it.
Ready to keep doing it. Keep hitting it. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, today we're going to talk, we're still on the series of Upside Down. How Jesus turned everything upside down.
Yes.
A lot of things that the religious people were so locked in to their thinking.
Yeah.
Jesus came, turned it upside down, because he's saying there's some new stuff.
Yeah.
There's a new way.
New way of doing things.
Yeah, it's a new way of God, and it's called the good news. And so we've gone through all these different, examples of how he turned things upside down. Today we're going to talk about Jesus breaks the taboo.
Yes.
And it's in Luke 7, verse 36 and 50. It's about the story of this woman that was woman of the night.
Yes.
Whatever.
She was a prostitute.
She was a prostitute.
Yeah.
She made her living selling her body.
Right.
And basically, she just lived a low life.
And people knew who she was.
She had a reputation in the town. Everybody knew who she was. Everybody knew how she made her living and sustain herself. And so Jesus is in this party, dinner, so to speak. And this woman find out, and she just break into the party. I mean, you got to have some guts to do that.
Yeah.
And usually those parties were mainly men. And she's a woman. And then on top of that,
Uninvited.
She's a prostitute.
And a prostitute.
So it's like she's got many strikes against her. She should have not been.
She's not supposed to be there.
No.
She's not welcome there.
No.
Nobody wants her there.
That's right.
But she says, something in her says, I need to be there.
Somehow she breaks through.
Somehow.
Which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Because if you take the analogy of the church and people's expectation of who comes in, who doesn't come in.
That's good.
You start realizing that the attitude of the church should be like, come on in as you are.
Wants to
come on in as you are. We're going to receive you.
Right.
Because Jesus turns the whole expectation of the religious people upside down in this case. So, so the context is she comes in.
Okay.
And she's an immoral woman. She has a low reputation, but she has a high value for Jesus. And she says, I don't care what I have to do. I'm going to get to this Jesus, you know, which is amazing. And so she has no husband. She has no income. She's trapped. You know, this poor woman is trapped in this lifestyle because she has no one else to take care of her. And so she does what she has to do to survive. You know, and I think that one of the things that we see in the story is in verse 38, what she actually does. You know, you want to read that for us?
Yeah, it says, then she knelt behind him at his feet, weeping. Her tears fell on his feet, and she wiped them off with her hair. Then she kept kissing his feet and putting perfume on them. Wow.
Woo!
That was very cool.
I mean, what do you see there?
Well,
what do you think when you read that?
I think it's really beautiful how, you know, to me when you kneel and you know at someone's feet, it's like a very big, you know, like thing of like just giving everything that you are to that person. You know. So I think there was. And the fact that she was crying, I think there was something that was broken in her. You know, there was something that she came to some point of realization that, like, that she needed whatever Jesus had to give her. You know, and
I think to go along with that, I think the Pharisees were looking at this because they're all confused. They're all messed up.
I bet.
They're thinking, what's she doing here?
Because there's like you were sharing with me, there are some very like specific things about her being there that she shouldn't have been there, and even about her being behind him and all of that was like
totally.
You said
totally. I mean,
no.
it was unacceptable. If, you know, for you to be behind a man and
as a woman
and do these kind of actions were like unacceptable. Were like a scandal. You know, but I think one of the things that I just thought about is these guys are looking at this woman, and they're seeing a true broken heart. They're seeing someone who truly broken and honoring Jesus.
It says that she's weeping.
And so I think they're totally messed up because they're thinking like, she shouldn't be here, but we have never seen that kind of brokenness. Or that kind of authenticity of surrendering to Jesus.
And it's, I mean, and we see it over and over with the Pharisees. Like they're so... And I think that's why what Jesus does in all these stories we've been talking about is so important, because they were so focused on like the rules and the laws and the regulations and the proper way to do things, which I understand because it's like what they were taught. You know, but I think where a lot of the Pharisees, at least that we read about, falter is that they didn't seem very open to anything new. You know, and so...
No, they were like locked into their thinking. They were like, this is the way we've been doing it. This is the way the law says. And we're not going to deviate from that. And I think that there's people in Christianity that way.
Oh, for sure.
People in Christianity with that kind of mentality that like, hey, you know, you smell like alcohol, you shouldn't be in this church, you know, or, you know, I saw your car parked in front of the, you know, bar or whatever, you know, that kind of mentality. But I think one of the things that we were talking about is that she was in the wrong position. You know, she should have never been behind Jesus because that was a sign of like an advance, almost like a woman that's gonna come on to a man,
make a move,
trying to make a move, making a pass, you know. And so it was a gesture of intimacy. She's kissing his feet, man. I mean, that had to be scandalous.
Wow.
You know, and they must have been thinking, oh, this guy can't be the Son of God because he doesn't get it.
I wonder if people thought that Jesus knew her. like, like that Jesus knew her
like
and that she knew him.
He's had something
already.
with her.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's totally not in the Bible, but I'm I'm thinking about being a person there watching.
Right.
Like I would think like these two seem like they know each other.
Yeah. Well, I obviously I think the Pharisees are just like totally messed up because I think they're seeing God. Some amazing surrender and broken heart, but yet they have their rules, and they're going back and forth, and they're saying this looks like God, but it can't be because look, it doesn't fit the mold, and it doesn't follow the rules. And he's not even
saying anything to her, like, hey, and I think that's a really strong point in this part of what Jesus does to turn everything upside down.
Yeah,
that he doesn't get hung up on those rules or rituals or regulations or even those expectations. He sees where she's at. He sees like the brokenness, the repentance is really what it looks like.
He sees her heart.
And that he's like, it doesn't matter that she's not supposed to be here. It doesn't matter that she's coming behind me. It doesn't matter that she's kissing on my feet and touching me with her hair and all of these things, because he just pushes beyond all of those things because he always sees to the heart of the person.
That's it.
And what their need is.
That's it. And I think Jesus, like you're saying, he saw her heart, and he Jesus is aware of the fact that this woman is breaking a lot of rules here.
Of course.
And it's kind of like, but Jesus is also in a position of saying, this is a great opportunity to show the heart of God.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In spite of the fact that I know that this woman, we are breaking some rules because Jesus was in it.
Yeah.
He's allowing her to kiss him on his feet. Yeah. That's physical contact, and that is, an act of love, and it was unacceptable. And Jesus is letting her do this because he sees the heart, and he's just blown away with the woman's total devotion to him and total, brokenness before him. And Jesus is saying, it's okay. Don't matter. You're not getting it all right. Yeah. But guess what? I see your heart.
Yeah, exactly.
I see your heart.
Yeah.
I see the heart that you have. And Jesus didn't judge her. He received her in spite of the fact that she just wasn't doing all the right things. Yeah. And I think Jesus was saying what's more important here is the brokenness of this heart.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
The total surrender of this woman's heart. And the fact that she honors me. Yeah. She recognizes who I am.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's really cool too that she, it's interesting that the Bible specifies that, she's putting perfume on his feet. Yeah. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the perfume that she had was most likely the perfume she would put on when she was working.
Sure.
For
expensive
her,
stuff.
Yeah, for
also.
her clients, so that she smelled nice and things like that. And I think it's very cool that she comes and she takes that perfume and puts it on him.
Interesting.
It's something that she would normally put on herself, but it's almost like to me what it represents is like she's saying like, I'm taking this lifestyle and I'm going to give it to you. Like I'm
that's good. That's good.
In front of you.
Very
I'm
good.
putting it all on you.
Yeah.
Because I don't, I want to get,
that's good.
I want to change that, because I don't think she would just waste it without even thinking about it.
Right, right.
Because it was something precious to her.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's really, really something very cool, too.
That's good. I really like that. I hadn't seen that. It's almost like, I'm pouring all this perfume on you. That means I have nothing left. That means I have nothing left in that lifestyle. Yeah. I'm not going back to that. That's really good. I'd never seen that, but I'm going to take that now and I'm going to use it.
Hey, it's not mine. It's not mine. I think it's very beautiful.
That's good.
I think it's, especially as a woman, like, I don't wear perfume often, but like the nice perfumes that I have, like it's something I have for me that I put on me, and that, and it's just, I think it was a big thing for her to say, what I use for myself to do my work, which she knew wasn't the right way to live.
Of course.
Now I'm going to give that to you.
That's very good.
Yeah.
And I think verse 39 says that when the Pharisees who had invited him, and he saw how Jesus was reacting, they were upset.
Yeah.
They said, if this man were some kind of a prophet, he would know what kind of woman this was, and the fact that she's touching him.
Yeah.
So they are freaking out.
Why is he letting her do this?
Yeah.
And doesn't it say, it says he said to himself, does that mean that it was in their thoughts, or that they're just saying it?
I don't know, but I would assume that they're saying it to each other.
Okay.
They're like at a table or something, and they're going like, man, come on, man.
Okay.
Jesus ought to know different, and that kind of thing, because they said she's a sinner.
Yeah.
She's a sinner. But obviously they misjudge.
Yeah.
And they devalue Jesus. And often when you're so hung up on rules, you can't perceive Jesus. You can't perceive the importance of your own heart, because you're so caught up with the rules, and you're thinking like, well, I did all the rules, but yet maybe our heart is far from him. We don't recognize that we need him. We're not humble. We're not, we're not devoted, and we're not seeking him. And so I think that they really missed the boat here because they were so caught up in their rules.
Yeah. And I think that, like, as far as, like, how this can help us in our everyday lives, I think, it makes me think about a lot of different areas. And number one, it makes me think about how sometimes we misjudge people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we misjudge people's actions at work, or, neighbors or home or friends or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I think that this shows me, like, I don't know what's in that person's heart, first of all.
Exactly.
Like, then that's not even my job.
Yeah.
It's not even my job to be like, oh, well,
Sure.
Good luck. I'm sure she'll just go right back to her way of life. I don't know that, but Jesus is the one who is supposed to judge that and to see that.
Right.
And I think thinking about the Pharisees, it also shows me, like, sometimes you just need to be quiet.
Yeah.
If you don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And especially I think when it comes to matters of the heart and Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, like,
sure.
Who am I to ever think that I know better than Jesus?
Sure.
And it's almost like the Pharisees kind of felt that in the moment.
I think they were totally caught up in it, because the way I look at it is rules are designed to point to action.
That's good.
Don't go through the red light.
Right.
Stop sign. Yellow lines. So there are rules, and I think rules have their place.
Oh, yeah.
And I think rule points out to action, but rules can't point to the heart. And I think that this is when Jesus is coming in, and he's saying,
really
there's something bigger here, more important than the rules, because the rules only go as far as the surface.
Yeah. No,
but now there's something deeper coming in, which is a heart that is surrendered to God. And I think that really Jesus allowed her to touch her. Jesus allowed her to anoint him, touch his hair, kiss his feet. And I think that they were saying that is not cool.
Right.
But Jesus was saying, hey, she might not get it all right, but she sure is getting close to me.
Yeah.
And they got it right, but they never got close to him.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
And I think that it should point to us that what God is looking for is a heart that's truly wanting to honor him.
Yeah, no matter what.
A heart that is willing to say, God, I might not get it all right, but I really want you.
Who does?
I really want you.
None of us get it all right, and I think that's something that, is a great takeaway for, just personally, like thinking like, Jesus is more concerned with where our hearts are than how how exactly we're doing everything. And obviously, the closer you get to Jesus, the more your actions do transform.
Sure.
Because of the heart that
Exactly.
you have.
Sure.
You know, but that is the number one, the first place to start.
Yeah.
Is at the heart.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I think what I notice in my life is that as I have changed and I have grown, it's not because there's a rule, but it's because I fall in love with God and I fall in love with Jesus. It's like, improving your marriage. It's not because there's a rule, but it's because you truly love the person. And as you grow in that love, then you grow in your ability to adjust your behavior, adjust the way you treat that person, and so on and so forth. So,
100%.
but I think that we're going to come back to this in the next episode because they're talking and murmuring about Jesus.
And Jesus has something to say to them.
And Jesus has something to say.
Which is also very cool.
He's got a comeback for them that they do not expect. And because when you're driving your life by rules, man, you're like in a different planet. And Jesus comes with this amazing insight, and he just throws them off completely. So we're going to come back to that, but the main thing is that Jesus is willing to turn things upside down because he wants to love you and he wants you to love him back. And so we're going to be back for the next episode, and we're going to continue this and see what Jesus says that's going to blow them to smithereens. But anyhow, thank you for being with us today, and we'll see you in the next episode here at The Drop, where we're dropping truth and bringing life.
See you guys next week.
All right.